At family dinner, my niece sneered, "We don't sit with your kind." They all laughed. What they didn't know, I own every property they live in. What happened next was beautiful. I built my real estate portfolio quietly over 15 years. Started with a duplex at 23, leveraged it into 4 properties by 30, then kept scaling through LLCs and silent partnerships. My family never knew because they never asked what I did for work. To them, I was just Jake, the quiet one who showed up to dinners and said little. My sister Victoria married into money. Her husband's family owned a regional car dealership chain. Suddenly she had opinions about everything, especially about people who weren't at her level. Her daughter Sienna absorbed every toxic word. At 19, Sienna had mastered the art of subtle cruelty, the kind that lets you claim you were joking if anyone calls it out. Last month was my mother's 65th birthday dinner at Victoria's house. The whole family gathered around her dining table, 23 people, all dressed up, expensive wine flowing. I arrived in my usual jeans and blazer. Sienna looked me up and down with that practiced sneer. Uncle Jake finally graced us with his presence. I took a seat at the main table next to my cousin Logan. Before I could even unfold my napkin, Sienna appeared behind me. "Actually, we need that seat for someone else." I looked around. Every other chair was taken except one at the kids' table in the corner. "Where should I sit?" She smiled sweetly. "The overflow table works. We don't really sit with your kind at the main table." The room went completely silent for exactly 3 seconds. Then my brother-in-law chuckled. Victoria laughed nervously. Soon half the table was snickering. My mother looked uncomfortable but said nothing. "My kind?" I asked calmly. Sienna shrugged. "You know, people without real careers. It's nothing personal. We just prefer dinner conversation with people who've actually accomplished something." More laughter. My uncle raised his glass. "She's got a point. When are you going to get serious about life, Jake?" I stood up slowly, pulled out my phone, and opened my property management app. 22 properties, all showing green for rent paid on time. I turned the screen towards Sienna. "You're right. I should sit with accomplished people." I scrolled to a specific property, like the people who live at 2847 Riverside Drive. Victoria's face went pale. That was her address. "What is that?" she asked quietly. "My property management dashboard. I bought your house 4 years ago when the previous owner needed to sell fast. You've been renting from me through Clearview Property Management this whole time." Dead silence. Sienna grabbed my phone. Her hands were shaking. I pulled up the next property. "In 892 Thornhill Lane. That's where Logan lives." Logan choked on his wine. "You're kidding." I wasn't. "And 1247 Oakmont Circle. Uncle Ron and Aunt Patricia, and Meadowbrook Apartments Unit 4B where Sienna lives." The color drained from Sienna's face. I kept going. "Should I continue? Because I own 11 properties where family members currently live. Not one of you knew because you never bothered asking what I do." My brother-in-law stood up. "This is a joke, right? Some kind of prank?" I pulled out my business card. "Jake Thomas, Principal, Riverside Holdings Group. Your lease renewal is coming up next month, Victoria." I was planning to keep rent flat. Was planning. Victoria found her voice. "Jake, Sienna didn't mean anything. She's young. She doesn't understand." I looked directly at my niece. "You're right about one thing. I shouldn't sit with your kind. I prefer dinner with people who treat others with basic respect." I turned to my mother. "Happy birthday, Mom. Your gift is in the car. I'll drop it off another time." As I reached the door, my uncle called out, "Come on, Jake. Don't be so sensitive. It was just family ribbing." I paused. Family means showing up for 15 years even when nobody values you. I did that. "What did you do?" Nobody answered. I walked out to the sound of frantic whispers starting behind me. The next morning, my phone exploded. 47 missed calls. Victoria left a voicemail crying about how I was overreacting. Logan texted asking if we could talk. Sienna sent a paragraph apologizing, ending with, "You're not really going to raise our rent, right?" I replied to none of them. Instead, I called my property manager. "The Thomas family properties. Standard market rate increases for renewal. No exceptions." She paused. "That's 15 to 20% across the board." I know. Professional courtesy is for professionals. 3 weeks later, Victoria called from her mother's house. They'd had to move. Couldn't afford the increase. Sienna moved back home too. At the smaller family dinner that followed, the only overflow table was the kids' table where it belonged, and nobody questioned where I sat.